It's Tuesday, February 13th, Fat Tuesday. Mardi Gras ends today. Ash Wednesday is tomorrow. I haven't slept for 2 days because I have insomnia, so I am wiredly tired. Let's go. So you're probably asking yourself, why is Doug dressed like a very terrible superhero? No, silly, it's Fat Tuesday. Mardi Gras. Yellow, gold, purple, bead. Mardi Gras. Laissez, le bon temps, rouler. Let the good times roll. So, 2 reasons why I want to share a video today. First, on a personal, I want to give a shout out and much love to my dear wife, Corey. When we got married in 2015, we had a second line parade. So I thought it was very appropriate during the Mardi Gras season, Fat Tuesday in particular, to, show off the fact that I had a second line parade at my wedding. That was pretty freaking cool. Special shout out to the local boys in the Unforgettable Big Band, and specifically the sub-band within the band, the Duke Street Deacons, who were the leaders of the pack that put my family and friends down Market Street in downtown New York, Pennsylvania, after a ceremony conducted by our former mayor and a dear friend of mine, Mayor Kim Bracey. Shout out Ms. Bracey. It was fun, and it gives me a reason to show off this fun photo of us on Market Street in downtown New York. But the second thing is I want to talk about is, so Catholic, right? So this whole idea of Mardi Gras and Fat Tuesday. The next day is Ash Wednesday, and it's the beginning of the Lent season, and we give up something. We give up something for 40 days. I give up Diet Coke, which is a disaster, so I'm gonna chug as much Diet Coke as I can possibly today because I give it up for Lent every year, and it is the worst time of the year for not me, for my wife Corey, because I'm a disaster. But the idea of giving up something, the idea of taking 40 days and sacrificing something, just so you can do it, you can reflect on what it means. Of course, this is the religious connotation. It's to reflect on your faith and what it is for that. But I'd like to suggest maybe we do a secular Lent and give up something that I think we need to do as a sector. I think the nonprofit sector needs to give up the word charity. Now, before everybody gets mad and puts some bad comments in the section, it's the reason I want to give up that word is I think it just doesn't suggest exactly what we are doing as a sector. Maybe it did at one point in the past, but it doesn't reflect it too much now. Here's what I mean. To me, charity suggests extra, something you do after the fact. So you get everything done, get all your ducks in a row, and whatever you have left over, you might want to present. You might want to give to a charitable organization. This is the way that giving used to be back in philanthropy in the early days. Very much in the sector, we call this the Carnegie or Rockefeller style. Make all your money, build all the empire that you can build. And at the end of the day, at the end of your cycle, the end of life, you start giving away your money at the end. You become philanthropic at the end. So you make all your money and then give it away at the back end. And that was sort of giving in charity. Or in the case of the sector, we're constantly setting up giving cycles and we're constantly setting up ways to give. But what has still maintained in the sector year upon year, decade upon decade, is that the last quarter, the last month, the last week, the last day is usually the biggest giving of a nonprofit every year or every cycle. It just is. And I think it's because most people still agree with this idea of throughout the days, throughout the years, throughout the months, you work, and at the end of the year, that's when you start reflecting on the giving season. Of course, this is nice because it's tying into Thanksgiving and it ties into Christmas, and there's already a season of giving well beyond just charitable donations. The point is that we have a sector that sort of waits at the end for giving, and I think some of it has to do with the phrase we use. Charity is a thing that we are, but it isn't a thing that how we operate. We don't operate as a charity because charity, again, with the connotation of it being suggesting extra, we have to operate year-round. In fact, most of the human services that we do are essential to making our communities move. Think of any town USA right now. And think of the impact that would be on a community if the nonprofit sector just disappeared. What happens with all the homeless shelters? What happens with all the rail trails and other environmental things? What happened with all the art galleries? What happened with all the performance art? What happens to all of the education components that we bring in? All the culture, the arts and culture that or organizations that we inject into a community. What happens if all that goes away? My suggestion here is simply that I do not think the nonprofit sector is anything extra. I think it is essential to a community and essential to its development. And I've talked about this before in other videos. But I think that we should maybe give it a try to stop using the word charity for a little bit so that we can help people really understand what we do isn't charitable. It's hard work. Every day in America, almost 12 million of us get up and go to work in the nonprofit sector. It is a job. It is hard work. And not just the nonprofit jobs that sometimes people think of, an executive director running an organization or somebody buying art supplies for students or preparing a musical recital or all these things that we sort of associate with the nonprofit cycle. But other people, like accountants and IT professionals, drivers, custodians. The sector is filled with jobs. It is filled with things that have to be done. If you love your art gallery and you love the idea of supporting the arts, you also got to dig the fact that someone's got to clean that place. Lights have got to stay on. You've got to maintain a human resources apparatus that can hire and promote people. There's a lot that goes on with the sector. There's a lot that goes on with your nonprofit that you love well beyond the immediate program that you might do. And none of that is charitable. That's hard work. It takes a lot to run a nonprofit. And I'm not just talking money. I'm talking the sweat equity that's associated. So I'm challenging my brothers and sisters in the nonprofit sector to just for the next 40 days, just a personal commitment. You don't have to announce it to the rooftop, but maybe cut back on using the word charity. Because again, I think using that word, using the idea of charity, suggests a past behavior, suggests a past way of thinking about our sector. And that idea of charity being extra, being after the fact, after you do everything else, then give to a charitable organization, I think we need to change that up a bit. So you're probably asking, well, what else would we call it, Mr. Man? Well, I got some ideas. The sector's had some ideas, actually. There was a push for a while. Does anyone here, do you guys remember this? Does anyone here remember when, for a bit, we tried to move from calling ourselves a nonprofit organizations, NPOs, we tried to move to CBOs, community benefit organizations? I mean, that's still a thing that's out there, and people talk about that. And then there's the social enterprise engine, which is a little combination of nonprofit and for-profit, and that's been a thing. But I want to suggest a cool group out of Ohio in the studies group, and a suggestion that they had a few years ago that I really like, and that is the for impact sector. Huh? I mean, first of all, it gets rid of the negative connotation, non. That's just terrible. Who else introduces themselves to the negative? But the other bit is it's promoting the positivity. It's promoting the idea that we impact, and that impact is positively happening every day, 24/7, 365 for the communities and the clients and customers that we serve. So instead of charity and instead of charitable organizations, why don't you just call yourself a for impact organization or a social enterprise or a kick-ass group or something? But just lay off the charity thing for 40 days. Just see how you feel. So guys, I put the question to you. What do you think about the idea of using the word charity? Do you like it? Do you mind it? Are you agnostic to it? What are your thoughts on that? Shoot me either an email right here at doug@connectthedotsmovement.org or put it in the comments below if you're following on YouTube. You can put it there. Comments are hard, but you know the comments. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. My name is DK. I'm with Connect the Dots Movement. We're a nonprofit social enterprise agency that works with nonprofiteers to better our organizations and therefore better our communities through connections. We connect them through better board building, better marketing, better PR, better events, better strategic planning writ large, and most importantly, by identifying your why and making sure that you can tell your story using the power of why and the power of persuasion. If you're interested in talking to me a little bit about Connect the Dots Movement or want to get connected right here, you can do it right here. Give me an email, doug@connectthedotsmovement.org. You can also follow us on social media. That is right here on facebook.com/connectthedotsmovement. And you're probably seeing your video right here, maybe on YouTube, but maybe it's on Facebook. Like and share this video around. Send it to your fellow nonprofiteers and people interested in the sector, or hell, just anybody, really. I'd love to see them. So anybody you want, go ahead and send that to me. We're also on Twitter right here at WeConnectDots. And I'll tell you, I like Twitter for a lot of things, but one of the reasons I really dig on Twitter is because I get questions and I also get topic ideas from Twitter. So WeConnectDots, again, right here. Send me a tweet, send me a question. I do a segment called DK's, what do I call it? How silly. It's Q&A with DK. Right, Q&A with DK, and I take questions from Twitter. So, at We Cannot, you're pretty terrible at this. It's the cold and no sleep. At We Connect Dots. Tweet me a question for Q&A with DK. How's that? It's a whole lot better. Not great, but a whole lot better. Guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. Once again, I'm DK with Connect Dots Movement, and you have just been connected. I'll see you around. Oh, yeah, Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, right? Be safe, all right? Drink responsibly. If you're drinking, get an Uber. Get a D&D. That's a designated driver. Walk. Take the bus. Take a cab. Just be smart out there, all right? I want to see you on Ash Wednesday. Nonprofit Power.